I think it's a very tall task to get out of Vietnam Shadow as they performed really well in all their MSI and Worlds last year. So if you want to, whoever offers that get out to Worlds for this split, we have a big task to perform.
Welcome back, Summoners of Southeast Asia, to Globe Conquerors Manila Group Stage. Of course, this is the last stage wherein Kuala Lumpur Hunters and Bigatron Esports will be taking the stage. But before we talk about that matchup right there, we'll be introducing ourselves. I'm Arctic, with me is Chiso, and we'll be your casters for this particular game.
Yeah, we're just coming off that third game where it was Archangel taking the win over Mega Esports. I have to say, Archangel played that really well. Well-deserved victory for them. Super controlled throughout that match. But we're headed into this next match. It will be Kuala Lumpur Hunters against Bigatron Esports. Now, Kuala Lumpur Hunters, Arctic, they've been pretty solid throughout this entire group stage. Only dropping one game, if I recall correctly.
Yep, and of course, that one game against Mega Esports.
Yeah.
So, as we can see, it's pretty much clear who our top teams were during the conclusion of day 1, or in totality day 2 of the group stage. So this time around, though, it seems like one team, Archangel, kind of starting to regain their composure, making up for a hella lost ground. So there's still a lot of ways where things can go a bit differently towards the end of the day in terms of these rankings. As you can see, currently still in first place, Kuala Lumpur Hunters and Mega Esports. Of course, Mega Esports, though, already suffering their second defeat of the day. Things will be determined as to whether or not Kuala Lumpur Hunters will be the sole owner of that top spot, or will Bigatron Esports manage to rake in their second win in this tournament.
Of course, with a victory here, Kuala Lumpur Hunters would secure their spot in the semifinals. So it's a lot on the line for this match. Speaking of making up ground, Bigatron Esports are yet to pick up a victory for today. If they want to do it, they have to do it now against Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
Man, that's pretty tricky here, because if you're going to think about it, Archangel, let's say if Archangel goes 1-1 and Bigatron manages to make the miracle 2-0, it pretty much gives a lot of breathing room for Bigatron Esports in a way.
You know, that situation would put us in a 4-way tie, where everyone is 3-3, and who knows what will happen after that. And you know, I want that scenario to happen.
I
but
do too, man.
It's looking very unlikely.
Yeah, the odds are definitely against Bigatron Esports. I mean, we continue to talk about this. We're in just the past GPLs prior to switching over to the Cup format. Indonesia hasn't been having the best time, always towards the lower part of the rankings. Like I'd like to say, I'm all about the underdogs, which is why I always root for Indonesia, but it's always just so hard, just considering the history of their run. But hopefully, if there's a time where they could defy the odds, the time is now here at Globe Conquerors Manila. But let's go ahead and check out how the drafting phase will go to determine if Bigatron Esports will at least have the advantage through just this particular phase.
Yeah, let's see what Kuala Lumpur Hunters decide to remove here. Will be the Fiora away from Minky. A lot of bans have been targeted towards Minky. He's one of the few shining spots in Bigatron's group stage run, and majority of those champions he's found success on are carries. So that is the direction most teams want to go for. See what Bigatron decides to remove.
Kind of makes you wonder if Kuala Lumpur Hunters is just going to go for a full-on trend of banning out a lot of power picks from Minky, because you have to remember, Camille was also a champion that he thrived on. Could be taken off the table as well.
Wouldn't be surprised to see that Camille ban. But speaking of power picks, we saw the earlier game with Caspiel's Talia. That is something you don't want to give over to the side of Kuala Lumpur Hunters. So we're waiting on the next ban of KLH. Did mention the Camille. It is what we expect to see. It will be the Camille ban. So no surprise right there. Now I'm expecting a Talia on the side of Bigatron Esports. It shouldn't be that big of a question. After watching what Caspiel did on the champion, he absolutely destroyed his opposition.
Wondering if there are going to be any bans that are full. Because here's the thing about KLH. I believe I mentioned this every single GPL, wherein this is one of the teams that it's so hard to ban out, because they have a lot of clear superstars here. Caspiel, Ozora, Veki, Shiro. Actually, all of these guys can kind of hold their own here. So it really comes down to what you really want to take away from Kuala Lumpur Hunters that could potentially be a detriment to your own composition. It looks like it will be the Talia, as you were mentioning earlier.
What direction does KLH decide to go for? It will be the Kindred ban, so no Kindred as well for Caspiel. Bigatron would want to ban away Superior's Morgana. I feel like that's one pick that he's super comfortable on, and Bigatron would prefer to put him on a different support, but it will leave a lot of champions open. If Bigatron goes with the trend, this will be an Aatrox ban, like we see from most teams. It will be the Rakan, actually. And just like that, Aatrox going to be instantly hovered by Kuala Lumpur Hunters. A lot of teams have considered locking him in this early. Did find success during Archangel's game. Let's see if Kuala Lumpur Hunters can imitate that success, but just swapping it over Kane. It won't be an Akali for sure. She is disabled for this particular tournament.
Nope, no Akalis this time around, guys, but looks like it will be the Nocturne. In which case, Nocturne has been making a splash in the tournament lately, and not just in this particular tournament, even in some of the local qualifiers. So not really a surprise that Kuala Lumpur Hunters will be prioritizing that pick. But of course, in exchange, since they didn't take the Aatrox, Bigatron Esports going to be taking it for themselves.
Yeah, Nocturne still a big time pick in the jungle, provides a lot for your team. Bigatron though gonna hop on the Aatrox, still a high priority these teams pick. And throughout the group stage, I've been pretty adamant about saying I'm not a big fan of the Aatrox pick, but okay, Arctic, this is a Veigar. We saw how effective this particular champion could be. Looks like Bigatron is taking a page out of Archangel's book.
I would love to see that particular champion go to Bravo. And if they could pull off the same way that they utilize the kit that a Veigar has, then holy cow, we're going to have quite a game, man. But I'm wondering, since this was an earlier pickup, what KLH will pick which could potentially not allow Bigatron Esports to utilize this particular champion, because a Mozart has been locked in, definitely something that Arhaj has been massively comfortable on.
Yeah, we have to consider, Arctic, that KLH were able to watch that previous game, so maybe they were able to theorycraft counters to the specific pick that is the Veigar in the bot lane. Kuala Lumpur Hunters is going to jump on the Tom Kench. What does Bigatron decide to go for here? They have a lot of options available. I wonder which direction they might want to go here. They already know what the mid lane and jungle matchup would be, because I don't see Malzahar going anywhere else aside from the mid lane or Nocturne.
True.
Still waiting on their third and final pick. Will be Xayah hovered. So with Xayah being locked in here, that will mean that the Veigar is not going to go bot lane, unlike we saw during Archangel's game where it went to the hands of Zenshaw. Veigar could also go support if they chose to, so a lot of flexibility available for Bigatron Esports now. I'm expecting 80 carry bans and targeted at Superior. I feel like they're not going to choose to ban away Shiro in this situation. It will be the Varus. So another strong marksman denied from KLH.
I'm wondering though, what will be the next few bans here from Kuala Lumpur Hunters? Because I have to agree with you, there's still a little bit uncertainty as to where the Tiny Master of Evil will be going to. Will be going to MT, will be going for Dreams. I'm thinking traditionally, of course, Xayah will be going to Bravo, but given the number of flex picks that we see at times, so just never know. Trundle is going to be the lockdown coming in from Kuala Lumpur Hunters, not going to give any opportunity for Bigatron Esports, in which case Kaisa as well, of course, an Azora Veki special going to be taken away from KLH.
Yeah, and speaking of KLH, they are removing bad matchups here for the Nocturne, or not necessarily bad matchups, decent picks in the jungle. They're trying to give Caspiel many resources in this pick and ban. They're forcing Spade to play something else, but they're actually going to go the route of the Morgana, so no peel for the Xayah. Not having Morgana on your team means that it's easier for Arhaj on the Malzahar to pick his target. No spell immunity available.
True.
Now, no Rakan to pair with the Xayah. What does Bigatron decide to go for here? Of course, if they pick a support, will signal the Veigar going to the mid lane. But at the same time, Arctic, we've seen mid lane Lulu in this event. So still a lot of questions on Bigatron. They haven't selected their jungler. Let's see what KLH decide to go for here. A lot of 80 carry bans now. If they want to go safe route, they can go for the Ezreal. Or they could also go Jhin if they want to go a bit more aggressive.
This reminds me of something else, but I don't really want to jump to conclusions from what I see from Bigatron Esports' composition. Meanwhile, looking at the Kuala Lumpur Hunters, going to go for something a little bit more safer, a little bit more traditional in the form of this Ezreal for Azora Vecchi. That kind of leaves what will be taken by the Kuala Lumpur Hunters to complement that through Shiro's last pick here.
Shiro's played a lot of Kennen throughout this event, and he's picked it mostly into... Okay, screw Kennen. It will be a Scion here for Shiro in the top lane. What will he be leaning? It will be the Aatrox.
Not a bad way to go, actually. But I'm wondering
Scion.
what BTR is planning with this composition, because I'm estimating that a jungle pick is still up in the air, but okay, there you go.
Gragas for the side of Bigatron Esports. So there's a lot of utility available on their side. If a fight does break out, Gragas does provide the disengage that they need. Imagine Nocturne diving him, you knock the rest of his team back, and there's not enough follow-up to the Nocturne. But I think I'm really watching out for is how the top lane matchup will go. It will be the Scion against the Aatrox. But I see a massive lack of damage on the side of Kuala Lumpur Hunters. I feel like Caspiel as a Nocturne will only provide a big burst at the start of fights, but not necessarily the constant DPS that is available for Bigatron. But we did say there was a lot of flexibility, right? It will be the Lulu mid lane. Looks like for MT. Dream's gonna be hopping on that support Vigar.
It's going to be an interesting dynamic between both Bravo and Dreams there. So, with that said though, you mentioned that I'd have to agree with you. Damage might be a little bit more on the trickier end here for the Kuala Lumpur Hunters, but on the especially not just that, but especially if you're going to look at the utility that Bigatron Esports has in exchange. I mean, just the Lulu as is. If ever Nocturne goes for a dive in, but it's easily whoever he targets is easily just granted the full utility that a Lulu can grant, and that's a throw off. Unless Caspiel is like way ahead where that doesn't matter. But let's go ahead and check out the review of compositions here. Of course, it is Kuala Lumpur Hunters and Bigatron Esports taking the stage. Ladies and gents, from wherever you're watching, whether it be Facebook Live, YouTube Gaming, or Twitch, share your thoughts on who you want to see make it out alive at the group stage. Of course, Kuala Lumpur Hunters just one win away from securing their slot, hashtag KLH win. Or do you want to see the pride of Indonesia, their sole representative, Bigatron Esports, make the most epic comeback here in the history of Southeast Asian region? Use hashtag BTR win. Let's let both sides determine their destiny as we head on to the Rift. And there you have it, guys. This is all the more intense as we head into Game 4. Once again, Kuala Lumpur Hunters of Malaysia versus Bigatron Esports of Indonesia. Only one can triumph in this game and continue their dreams of making it to the world stage. Who has the stronger resolve? It all comes down to how they execute on the Rift. So let's see who can do better.
Yeah, and I feel like the biggest factor here for Bigatron Esports would be to shut down Caspiel, at least try and slow him down, because throughout group stages, he's been majority of what KLH highlights are. He's been popping off on whichever jungler we put him on. So that will be the key thing here for Bigatron.
Azora Vecchi and Dreams do manage to spot out each other, trying to go for a few hits, both of which have their own respective skill shots. To get a few pokes here and there, but not really going to be anything for either side so far. Looks like things will be a little bit more traditional. Both sides playing the defense game into their jungles, not wanting to grant any opportunity from either side here to ramp vision, just so that they could get a feel of how these junglers are going to be starting off this game in terms of pathing.
Yes, Page is getting a bit of a dance-off. Knows whenever Caspiel wants to approach, but yeah, speaking of pathing, it seems like Caspiel will be starting, actually both junglers will be starting off on the top half of the map.
So it looks like we will be reverting to the lanes right now. Dreams, though, gonna get a throw there onto Azora Vecchi once again. Superior trying to land a lash onto Dreams, not gonna get the hit though.
See that, Dreams? He brought his dancing shoes. He's not going to get hit by any skill shots.
Looks like Bigatron Esports going to try to keep that dream alive.
Is that a pun?
Not really. That wasn't intentional. I swear it wasn't. It just came. It just came unconsciously.
It is quite unfair though that even though he did bring his dancing shoes, there is point and click available on the side of KLH. Caspiel and RH have point and click ultimates, so regardless of how well you can juke around skill shots, they are gonna reach you at some point.
Spade making a take on this Scuttle Crab. Same goes for Caspiel though, so it's just basically a mirror of which. But take note of this vision in that Soul Brush, which does grant information to the Kuala Lumpur Hunters that Spade is lingering towards this bottom side of the map, gonna make a transition towards that blue buff. Looks like Caspiel actually tried to go in for a check onto Bigatron Esports' own side, but at the end of the day, it's actually Spade that's gonna get a hell lot more success, in which case.
Yeah, you know, Caspiel doesn't necessarily need to go for his red buff this early into the game. Nocturne, you're not going to be ganking early, so there's not much value in having that added slow onto your auto attack. So you can just skip over that buff and actually get it fairly late. Just going to go for more clears. Just have a CS advantage. Of course, Nocturne always going to clear faster compared to something like a Gragas.
Meanwhile, looks like a little bit more chill here. Both junglers just trying to clear out as many camps as they can, trying to get that power up, especially for Caspiel running this Nocturne. To continuously say that for a team that's running a Nocturne as their jungler, lanes ideally, unless they have a massive advantage against their counterpart, want to try to play it to until such time they could get some reliable ganks from this Nocturne here. So let's go ahead and see how that goes.
And speaking of reliable ganks, you can get probably a more reliable ganking jungler than the Gragas. It's very easy to go for Flash Body Slam right on top of a target. That is one thing that KLH has to watch out for.
Looks like a recall already coming in from RH here. Gonna take the early ride home. Oh, actually, no. Just gonna cancel that out. Gonna stick around in lane a bit longer. Seeing that MT gonna be doing just the same. Not wanting to give up any boosts in CS, because look at the CS difference between RH and MT so far. Definitely a bit more sizable, just by one wave, but still considerably so.
I wonder how long Shiro can actually hold his own here against Minky's Ajax, because he's being pushed in fairly heavily. Bit of trading in the bot lane. That's an arcane shift forward.
Yeah, looks like Azora Vecchi knowing very well that he could get quite a number of hits there onto Bravo and Dreams. Looks like we are going to be seeing gangs across the map, though. That is going to be Minky taking quite the damage from Caspiel. Minky going to try to slow him down, flash away, but no. First blood going to be going to Caspiel, exhausting his own flash for the kill.
And once again, it's Caspiel who finds the first blood here for Kuala Lumpur Hunters. He burns his flash. Minky not level 6, so no ultimate available on the Aatrox just yet. Will go down. Does relieve a lot of pressure from the top lane. Shiro was already struggling. Now the CS will be evened out quite a bit.
Yeah, and that's not really the best start for Bigatron Esports right there. Ideally, you wouldn't really feel as much from the Nocturne until he does hit level 6. But if you do this early on, then you're only asking for trouble, because it gives all the more advantage for Caspiel to reach that spike sooner.
Kind of tricky though. It looks like Caspiel is ready to take over this game, because I'm looking at the level difference between these junglers. Spade is still level 3 on the Gragas, and he hasn't found a gank just yet. Caspiel was successfully able to find a kill pre-level 6, and as a Nocturne player myself, that's actually something that's very difficult to pull off.
True. And at the end of the day, it kind of makes you wonder. BTR, they're not going to really have as much minutes to work with. As soon as Caspiel hits level 6 early on, then they're going to have to play it a little bit more cautiously, or at least establish sufficient amount of vision just so that they wouldn't become fodder to potential ganks from the jungler of the Kuala Lumpur Hunters.
And Dreams is going to land the event. Actually, not going to land it even. Just onto the minions. I thought Superior was done. He was standing in place.
Ah, but I hear the sound of a sigh. Beautiful interaction for both RH and Zero. That is synergy 10 out of 10 from KLH as they get yet another kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere if the setup is as easy as that point and click wins the game. But speaking of point and click, here comes more.
Yup, that's what I'm talking about right there. Allow Caspiel opportunities in the early game. You're just going to ask for it if you're Bigatron Esports. Double kill for the jungler of KLH, and they come off big.
Yeah, the aggression isn't stopping for Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Once in the mid lane, you see the point and click, the combo of Shiro and RH. If they don't stop, they immediately went bot lane. So not gonna allow Bigatron Esports any breathing room in this game.
Oh, that was so unfortunate. Although Bigatron Esports was able to get that one kill, but at what cost? Caspiel is on fire on this Nocturne. It's only 7 minutes into the game. Normally, we wouldn't see a Nocturne this ahead in majority of the previous games that we saw him in the Globe Conquerors Manila tournament group stage.
And you know, Arctic, that's why we give so much praise to Caspiel. He's just that good of a jungler, and he does show up with the results against most of the teams. He's never been out jungled in most of his matchups. So, definitely well-deserved praise there. Now, blue buff just going to be handed over to RH in the mid lane.
That's going to be pretty darn good. I'm wondering when round 2 will come for whenever Shiro decides to stampede his way into a lane for yet another set. But yeah, it's such a shame because look at the spread here for Bigatron Esports. Everybody, with the exception of the jungler, suffering that one death. Not that it's any better for Spade because it's his counterpart that's actually the most fed on the side of Kuala Lumpur Hunters. So it voids out him suffering any form of a death.
Yeah. Of course, he's going to mimic what Caspiel is doing for his mid laner. Going to give the blue buff over. Wait.
Oh, that
no.
was unfortunate. I think
that's a tilter.
It was the burn from Spade, from the immolate.
Red buff as well. Spade had red buff. So it's either one of those.
Yep.
Empty's tilted now. He can't back. Well, he has to back. He has no mana.
Yeah, just gonna have to breathe a huge sigh of disappointment.
That's
right
a teleport.
There. Spade coming in. Good timing though, because Shiro way far off right now. Bravo gonna be popping his ultimate though, with the rest of Bigatron Esports gonna go for the fight. That is gonna be the escape. Sayonara, baby. That's gonna be Shiro drifting out of there, but gonna leave Superior. That'll be the knockup. Thick Skin has come up, but Bigatron Esports unfortunately not able to get a kill, even with the numbers playing heavily in their favor. But of course, that's gonna be pretty darn good for KLH.
Yeah, Bigatron Esports not going to find anything with that play. KLH were also trying to go for the aggressive move with the teleport from the flank, but now Superior. If he walks up, he's going to get stunned here.
Oh, snap. Going to get caught in the radius of BTR. And of course, Bravo just going to land the final feather.
Yeah, a bit too greedy there by the bot lane of Kuala Lumpur Hunters. They thought the members of Bigatron had backed away, but they had swept the bush of wards, so they find a good catch there. Speaking of catches, mid lane is very easy setup. The moment RH has flash, as long as Empty still hasn't picked up his QSS. Oh no!
Oh, that's going to be another stun right there. Will be enough to take down Azora Vecchi. Ultimate for the kill, baby! That's going to be Caspiel going straight in for more action. In the mid lane though, RH gets a few hits under turret, but unfortunately, Spade a little bit too late for that party there. Just going to allow RH and Caspiel to enjoy for themselves that one kill that they got onto Empty.
And even if Spade was there, what could he really do to stop the damage from pushing through? Caspiel is so fed on this Nocturne, and unless MT picks up a very early QSS, he's gonna eat a lot of the aggressive moves of RH. It's very easy for the Malzahar to actually set up, so mid lane tower already nearly dead. I don't think RH and Superior can take it down now.
Ah, but here's something that KLH might want to have their eyes on next. Rift Herald, of course, Caspiel already taken the measure to go for a set a little bit later on. It is still early, only 10 minutes into the game, so Skylo Crab definitely wouldn't hurt.
You know, Caspiel is so far ahead on this Nocturne. I'm looking at the itemization, already completed Warrior Enchantment and the Tiamat he's been holding on to, whereas for Spade, he only has a Bami Cinder and the initial starting item.
Ooh. Meanwhile, bot lane going for the push here. Keep on going back to where BTR is at right now in terms of standing, because it seems like the people that are kind of well off for BTR right now are both Dreams and Bravo. Azora Vecchi, luckily, not the best placement of the radius there.
Yeah, Dreams was trying to predict something. Of course, it's always a mind game when you're pointing skill shots against an Ezreal, considering he has a flash on demand, but...
Ooh, numbers, so that's going to be locked down. Azora Vecchi in the field, unfortunately. He went for the Arcane Shift forward. Gonna try to get the save from Superior. Spade gonna knock him up, though. That's gonna be the first takedown onto Azora Vecchi. Looks like BTR want to try to go for more in the form of Superior, but looks like that won't be the case. Just gonna content themselves with that one kill onto Azora Becky. But take note, Caspiel is lingering in the vicinity. R-Hedge as well. No ultimate for Caspiel just yet, though. Just gonna come up now, but that's gonna be the dive in right there. That's the zone. Shiro as well. Tokyo driven his way down to the bot lane. Not even needed, though. Just enough to take down Bravo.
And no real way to stop that from happening. The damage is just too much. No Feather Storm as well on the Xayah to dodge away from the Nocturne. Easiest setup, easiest kill of Caspiel's life. We're gonna take an Ocean Drake, but it's a very late one, even though the laning phase hasn't ended. We'll be able to at least utilize this for the next few minutes.
Ooh, Caspiel really pulling the stops here for Kuala Lumpur Hunters, and I don't know, man. BTR, there's been a lot of attempts towards bot side. In all fairness, gotta give my kudos for the effort coming in from Bravo and Dreams, but it's not as centered for Caspiel here. And normally we kind of look at it from the perspective that, but the focus is only on Caspiel. What about the rest of KLH? The fact that Caspiel is running a Nocturne, him being ahead and a jungler at the same time, just it doesn't really matter as much if it's focused on him. So long as he continues to influence the lanes across the board, then I think that's a pretty good trade-off for KLH. And I think it's really showing in terms of the goal difference that we're seeing here.
And you know, Arik, this is something we talked about during the start of the game, where the game plan for Bigatron Esports was to find a way to shut down Caspiel. They just haven't found it. That's majorly the reason why they are facing this deficit. Sure, just gonna take Subtle Crab. He's hungry on Sion.
R-Hedge, though, coming back into laning for the mid lane. Luckily, MT and Spade are a little bit far off, dealing with the waves that naturally pushed in onto them from the Hunters here. Bravo and Dreams trying to hold their own here in the bot lane.
I'm a bit tilted. He missed cannon. Then again, it was the tower. If it was just the minions, I'd still be tilted, but that was either way, it's bad to miss cannon minions.
Take note, though, there's no vision in that brush there, if I'm not mistaken. So
there is now.
Okay, there is now.
They see Spade.
They will be spotting out that control ward there. A little bit unfortunate. Probably should have not gone within vicinity of that ward. But look at this, though. Kuala Lumpur Hunters going for a sneaky rift tower. Like I mentioned, it's the long-term effect of control towards this upper side here, wherein was a little bit earlier on, 14 minutes, 4 minutes after from where we called it. Caspiel gonna take it quite gladly.
Oh, they know the Nocturne is on the top half of the map. The ward over that wall will spot out Spade. It does give a lot of free time for Bigatron to hit down the tower, but still fairly healthy. Not gonna gain much value since Spade was spotted. So a lot of roaming towards the bot side, but nothing really gained. Just time wasted from the side of Bigatron Esports. The cooldowns are already available for Kuala Lumpur Hunters. There's teleport actually on R-Hedge, so if he wants to follow a Paranoia bot lane, it will be possible. Yeah, spellbook.
Okay. I was surprised a bit there. I was like, where did that come from? But nonetheless,
he has an unsealed spellbook, Arctic.
I wasn't quite a fan of Spade lingering too much in that plot lane, especially once they did come to turret. There was barely a wave that they could work with. So what I'd like to see from Bigatron Esports within these next few minutes is thinking a little bit more ahead when going for these kind of plays, because I feel like that's what's eventually going to be granting them the opportunity to go toe-to-toe with KLH, who does what I suggested quite magnificently. But, Shiro, unfortunately, coming off a bit short there, going on to Minky. Looks like it will be mission abort for KLH for now.
Yeah, R-Hedge not willing to burn the flash to secure Minky in place. Minky will bop the ultimate on the Aatrox so he can get away. Less survivability now for that pick. The bot lane, Azora Becky and Zipir have done a good job of holding their own against the Vigar bot lane, which as a carry could be oppressive, but as a support, not as much.
Yeah, even with the number of deaths going on to Azora Becky, look at the itemization here. I mean, he's been keeping up quite immaculately. In fact, look at the CS difference. Even with the better advantage for Bravo and Dreams, he's actually still up in CS.
See the top lane, Minky wants to trade, but Shiro Sion, he doesn't care. He has double armor items, Ninja Tabi, and Frozen Heart means he basically doesn't take any damage against Minky regardless of how many times he hits him.
That's definitely a frustration, but Okay, Soren flying Caspiel. It's a good done deal. That's going to be a dead Bravo. Teleport is going to come in from KLH. They're just going to get the full onslaught of a defense. I'm not sure Minky, I'm not sure if that was the best idea with 5 members of KLH on ya. Moment of stasis, just prolonging the inevitable. Down you go. Caspiel gets the kill. Once again, it looks like KLH, they could actually go for more here. They are a complete unit of 5.
Caspiel's already godlike on a Nocturne. They're gonna have the Rift Herald as well to assist on this push. The flash in by Shiro because why not? I'm a pretty tanky Scion. I don't care. How does MT and Dream stop this push? I don't see them stopping this push. And stopping.
MT, nice sidestep right there. Will he last long enough to tell the tale though? Bravo trying to get a few hits there onto Shiro. Let's actually hold on to him. But Rift Herald, something that BTR has to deal with first. That's going to be knocked in onto RH onto the wall. No follow-up coming in from BTR though. Not wanting to risk still the full 5 numbers of KLH here. And looks like the Hunters just gonna back for now, but Azora, Veki, gutsy for the kill. MT might be the next to fall here. Survives with just a slither of health. Still taking around. Caspiel goes for the dive. Moment of stasis for him. Takes a few turret hits though. Makey tries to go into the dirtiness of that fight, but still, like I mentioned, numbers pay well for KLH as he goes down. Spade might be the next here though. KLH trying to get the hit. KLH has to be careful though. That will be the hit coming in from Dreams though to take down Shiro. KLH gonna go for the mission abort, but that's a hell of a lot of value that they got at the end of the day.
Yeah, so much fighting happening. The stopwatches just saving their lives in the end still. That's a big win for Kuala Lumpur Hunters. Big John Esports seems like they can't match the pace that KLH is playing at. The fact that they are facing a 7-0-1 Nocturne at 18 minutes is a massive issue. If Bravo does not have his Feather Storm available, he's basically gonna die. And if you see the amount of damage that MT took from a Scion that's building full tank, that's quite absurd.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm kind of baffled here because this is what I was saying as early as the drafting phase. If Caspiel spirals hell out of control on this Nocturne, doesn't even care if you have utility coming in from the loot. You could put in the ultimate, you could put in the shield, but Caspiel's just gonna burst you down just like that in a snap.
Oh, did you know, by the way, Scion's ultimate deals damage to towers?
Oh, I didn't know that actually. Learn something every day. Oh,
Dreams is dead.
But yeah, Dreams just gonna get shattered right there. Bravo gonna try to go for the ultimate to get the hold on to Azora Veki, but with 3 members, it's a good done deal. Double kill for Azora Veki. Easily making a bounce back right there. Earlier, 0-3-2-4-3-5. I'm A-okay. Hashtag teamwork.
Yeah, especially Ezreal as a marksman spikes at 2 items, even though he was behind earlier, even if he was just sitting on that mana. The moment he hit his power spike,
Darkness, my old friend, gonna go on to MT, and that's gonna be another kill. Spade, but even with the tankiness, it's a good done deal. Double kill for Caspiel. Could somebody please stop the jungler of KLH because he's on fire in this game?
Yeah, you know what, Arkney? I feel like that's something that's near impossible on the side of BTR Esports because honestly, Legendary Nocturne before 20 minutes, Caspiel pretty much can do anything on Summoner's Rift right now. He's gonna get not gonna get stunned though.
Yeah, zone around the inhibitor. Just gonna be KLH barreling down on the structure regardless. Azora Veki though gonna try to get a push down here. Might want to back away sometime soon. Minky though gonna try his luck against Shiro right here. Gets a knock up. Minky not giving up just yet though. Tries to land a few hits onto Shiro, but that is one tanky Scion. Man, oh man. Yeah. Minky already nearing half health, but looks like Minky not gonna give up just yet. Just gonna continue to pester Shiro just so that's Shiro couldn't get a response to the rest of KLH. Not that he has teleport though, so that's not really something that could happen. One more hit, down he goes. RH will get the kill. Great placement of the ability, but looks like they're not done just yet. That's one dead bird in the form of the Saya. They're gonna go for more here though. Azora Veki getting a few hits left and right onto MT. Spade gonna try to zone out the members from KLH from further pursuit. But holy cow, the Hunters, they are on the prowl, on the hunt, and winning it all.
Yeah, they're looking at the Baron right now. They do have a decent Baron damage. Ezreal at 2 items will deal quite a bit. Of course, Caspiel can also tank this, so easy pickings here for KLH. I don't think Bigatron can actually challenge this.
I don't know,
I don't think so.
At this point, look at the difference that we're playing at right now. Spade trying to make an entrance into Baron Nashor, just going to become a snack to Superior at this point. Gets gobbled up. Look at all that damage. Will go down to the Comp Kench, and looks like KLH will easily secure Baron Nashor. 21 minutes into the game, 18-5 on the scoreboard, not to mention a near 15,000 goal difference in favor of KLH. It doesn't get any better for the Malaysian squad.
Yeah, did we expect anything else to happen in that situation, Arctic? I feel like anything else would have been extremely surprising. Now Baron on the side of Kuala Lumpur Hunters. They're going to look to end the game here.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Ooh, I don't know, man. This is probably... It's intense in a way that Kuala Lumpur Hunters...
Shira's doing a stutter step.
Yeah. Oh, but here comes the sound of Scion.
I'm kind of bummed that we didn't follow the Scion.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, where is he going to go next? Looks like we didn't miss out on too much, Chi, so
not too much.
We're fine, we're fine. But this could be the final stand for Bigatron Esports right there. Caspiel tries to go for a dive. Guardian Angel will be popped up, though unfortunately a little bit too late for BTR to capitalize on this because KLH way too ahead in this game right now. BTR, they're going for their last stand, but KLH not giving a care in the world, slowly taking down this Nexus turret. That's Nexus turret number 1. Gonna try to go for more kills before they go for the pick shot. Perfect finish. It's only 3 members of BTR that are left up and kicking. Menki trying to do what he can, tries to go to RH, but gets decimated. Double kill for Ozora Vecchi, and that's gonna be it. Welcome to the playoffs, because Kuala Lumpur Hunter is gonna take it against Bigatron Esports. Hashtag Malaysian pride right there.
Yeah, and with that victory, KLH will secure their spot in the semifinals of Globe Conquerors Manila. Well-deserved victory. Once again, we kept praising Caspiel for it. He was the X factor in that game, took over the game before 10 minutes even, and just a great performance on that Nocturne. Pretty sure he was the MVP for that game.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly why people say Caspiel is one of the prides of Southeast Asia that could easily not just compete here, but could probably play internationally in whichever region would like to take advantage of his talent. So that was a clear demonstration right there. All hail King Caspiel right there. Woo! What a game. But let's go ahead and talk about Bigatron Esports there. What do you think was the biggest issue wherein things just kind of spiraled way down to the bottom?
You just didn't have an answer for Caspiel. That's basically what happened in the game. It just felt like they wouldn't have any answers to the Nocturne. The Gragas not adding any value to their team, not able to find ganks early. And now moving on with the rest of the game today, there is still a bit of a chance, I believe, for... Actually, no. Depending on how Mega and Bigatron plays out, that if Mega Esports are able to secure a victory, I do believe they do secure their playoff spot, but still a question in my mind.
That's going to be interesting right here because it's that scenario that kind of leads you on the edge of your seat right now. Yeah. At least if you're a supporter of the Philippine squad, because them potentially still having a chance at making playoffs heavily relies on not them just winning, but also Bigatron Esports winning. Yeah. So that's something to consider. So ladies and gentlemen, all the more reason to tune in for the rest of the games that we have today. That was just game number 4. Of course, we still have 2 more left before the conclusion of our group stage prior to the big event at the Mall of Asia Arena. Still, tickets are available coming this August 18 and 19. Buy your tickets at all SM ticket outlets nationwide, or if you're a foreign visitor coming to the Philippines, be sure to purchase your tickets online. I heard a lot of tickets were sold within the past few days, so don't take it a chance, guys, to buy your tickets at the event itself. But for the meantime, we'll be taking a quick break. Need to take a breather. Whew. After that intense, dominating game from KLH Waving your Casters, I'm Arctic. With me is Chiso, and this is Globe Conquerors Manila, last day of the group stage. See you guys for game number 5. But this could be the final stand for Bigatron Esports right there. Caspiel tries to go for a dive. Guardian Angel will be popped up, though unfortunately a little bit too late for BTR to capitalize on this because KLH way too ahead in this game right now. BTR, they're going for their last stand, but KLH not giving a care in the world, slowly taking down this Nexus turret. That's Nexus turret number 1. Gonna try to go for more kills before they go for the pick shot. Perfect finish. It's only 3 members of BTR that are left up and kicking. Menki trying to do what he can, tries to go to RH, but gets decimated. Double kill for Ozora Vecchi, and that's gonna be it. Welcome to the playoffs, because Kuala Lumpur Hunter is gonna take it against Bigatron Esports. Hashtag Malaysian pride right there.
And with that victory,